Alicia, for more details on the growing crisis at our southern border, let's turn to former acting Homeland Security Secretary under President Trump and America First Policy Institute's Center for Homeland Security and Immigration Chairman, Chad Wolf. Chad, thank you for taking time on a Saturday, picking up on Casey's great reporting down there. I can tell you, he called it an active night. It is not only active, it is even more active than last year. In the last 24 hours, Chad, there are 1,414 illegal crossing encounters in just that sector alone. It's up 161%. You can see our live drone flying over La Jolla in that RGV sector. So my question to you, sir, will reinstating remain in Mexico help get this under control?
Well, it will certainly help, but it won't help overnight. This is going to be a sustained program that they need to continue to implement month after month after month. And what we know and what we've seen the Biden administration say is they don't believe in the program, that they're only doing this because a court has ordered them to implement this. And as soon as they get relief from the court, they are going to end the program. So there's a real messaging problem here. Part of the MPP is not only the policy, but it's the message that it sends. And if you are telling migrants and you're telling the cartels that we really don't believe in this program and we're going to end it as soon as we get the chance to, it's really not going to have the effect that you need to at the end of the day. So I think they've got some real challenges in re-implementing the migrant protection protocols. They've also changed a number of the program features, and we're going to have to see if that's, really gets it to its full potential on whether those become loopholes in the program itself. So I think there's a lot to really examine and see how they do implementing the program over the next several months.
Oh, you are very correct, sir, in the changes and the devil in the details. In fact, we can show you a quick map. It's 7 ports of entry that they're going to do it. 2 are in California, in San Diego, Calexico. You've got Nogales in Arizona, and then, of course, in Texas, El Paso, Laredo, Eagle Pass, Brownsville, Texas. But we're not talking, Chad, about how much impact it has on the Mexican side, those northern Mexican cities, Tijuana, Juarez, Matamoros. It's going to overflow already overcrowded situation there.
Well, absolutely. Certainly in the beginning. And again, I would say, to the Biden administration, welcome to the game. This is what border enforcement looks like. I'm not sure where they've been for the past 10 to 11 months. This is what they should have been doing from day one instead of canceling the program and then going through all these different machinations to try to restart it. The government of Mexico, if you go back to the Trump administration when we negotiated MPP, at the end of the day, they liked this program because if it's a sustained program, they saw that the illegal migration through Mexico was reduced, and that helps not only their infrastructure and their facilities and the services that they have to render to these migrants. So over the long term, they like it, which is, I assume, why they again agreed to resume the program at the end of the day. But again, I've got concerns when we talk about the new procedures of MPP. They are now going to ask each MPP enrollee whether they have a fear of returning to Mexico. Well, guess what? You're going to see a higher and higher number of people say yes. And as soon as they say yes, I have a fear of returning to Mexico, guess what? They're not enrolled in MPP. So it's these little changes that they're making that could really make or break the program at the end of the day.
Chad, I want to talk about the concerns at the border over the spread of this new COVID variant, Omicron. Earlier this week, Dr. Fauci was asked about testing at the border. Here's what he said. Listen.
What about people who don't take a plane and just these border crossers coming in huge numbers?
Yeah, that's a different issue of somebody getting on a plane, getting checked, looking at a passport. We don't have that there, but we can get some degree of mitigation.
Is there something to do to test these people somewhere else?
There is testing at the border under certain circumstances.
I've been to the border numerous times, and I have not seen the testing he speaks of. Chad, your reaction?
Well, there's little to no testing at the border. I think you hear the DHS Secretary saying that we have a policy to test people, but that's very different on whether they are actually implementing the policy, and he refuses to say whether they're actually implementing the policy. So, look, I've been around Dr. Fauci in the Trump administration numerous times. He simply doesn't want to deal with the politics of trying to test these individuals along the southwest border. And I think it's very, very important because we have restrictions. The Biden administration has imposed restrictions on individuals choosing to come here into the country legally from overseas. But if you come across the border from some of those same countries in Africa and other places illegally across the southwest border, you don't get tested, you don't have a vaccine mandate, you don't have a quarantine mandate. And so I think their policy is just out of touch with the American people, and the American people see the hypocrisy of it.
former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. Chad, thank you for taking time.
All right, thank you.